Okay guys, so welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be discussing what I think are the best artifact sets for Hu Tao. Now, this is based on the current artifacts that we have in the game. I realistically only see 4 sets that could actually work on her. Now, first off, for Hu Tao, for me personally, the artifact set that I'm actually going to use for Hu Tao is the Bolide set. Because this 4 set, while protected by a shield, gain an additional 40% normal and charge attack damage. I want to build my Hu Tao as a normal and charge attack damage dealer. And since I have Zhongli, I'm going to use Zhongli along with Hu Tao because Zhongli can provide a really strong shield. And also something that I've not seen anyone talk about is the 4-set Archaic Petra. Now the 4-set Archaic Petra is really good. It's really underrated by a lot of people. So this 4-piece set description is really long. So to summarize what it does, if a character that's putting this on does a crystallized reaction, and then they pick up that crystal, whatever element that crystal is, you get 35% extra damage bonus for that element for 10 seconds. That is basically the same. That is almost the same thing as a 4-set Viridescent, except that it's a bit harder to activate because you need to do a crystallize. But with Zhongli, you could actually play it to where you could do something like this. Okay, since 4-set Archaic Petra is a little bit confusing to understand, I thought I should explain it through a clip on how it works and why it's so good. So I'll skip to around over here. Yeah, perfect. Now here, my Ganyu without the Archaic Petra does 19,994 and 33,990 on her charge attack. Now, notice that the enemy is affected with Cryo, so I switch to Zhongli. I make a Cryo Crystal. Well, in this case, the enemies made the Cryo Crystal for me, but generally it's this. Generally, you do this to generate Cryo Crystals, and it's very important, by the way, that you pick it up with the character you made the shield with. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Now, you see how I have the cryo damage? You see how I have the cryo shield around me? That means the Petra is activated, and I have a 35% damage bonus for cryo because it's cryo elements. So now, if I attack, suddenly now my charge attack does 23,800 and 40,000, which is huge because it went up by a total of 11k, just like that. And here, my shield breaks, so I don't have the buff anymore, which is the one issue about it. Which is also why I would use it with Bolide, because it also provides that shield strength, which is pretty nice to help these small shields survive. But I'm mainly using Bolide for that 40% charge attack, and since Bolide demands a shield, you can run a shield character with Archaic Petra to get even more damage. Now for the next artifact set, I want to talk about Lavawalker. Lavawalker is pretty good, because that 4-piece set just increases damage against opponents affected by Pyro for 35%. By 35%. So you basically have 35% extra damage if you're using Hu Tao for almost all the time. Now the Lavawalker set only bad part is that if you're trying to combine elements in basically any way, this passive 35% damage against Pyro's affected enemies, it doesn't activate. So like for instance, if you're doing a melt or a vaporize comp, then this set isn't really that good. However, you can kind of combat this by, instead of bringing a, for instance, Sing Shu or Chongyun to do a vaporize or melt combination, you could actually run an Anemo instead with 4-set Viridescent. Because it doesn't show here, but what Viridescent does is whatever element you swirl, the enemy's resistance to that element gets reduced by 40%. And that's basically almost the same thing as if you were running a melt or vaporize comp. So if you're running Lavawalker, then I suggest you don't run a melt slash vaporize comp and run Lavawalker with and an emo that has Viridescent Veneer. You can use Sucrose, you can use Venti, you can use Jean, or even the Traveler. All of them work for this combination, and I think it's actually quite a strong combination to do, which is nice. Okay, so now moving on to Crimson Witch of Flames. This Crimson Witch of Flames set is pretty good. However, on Hu Tao, I'm not exactly very sure about this set. Because Crimson Witch of Flames, the 2 set gives pyro damage bonus plus 15%, and then the 4-piece set increases overloaded and burning damage by 40%. It increases vaporize and melt damage by 15%. And it can increase if you use your E, it increases the 2 set bonus by 50%. It can stack 3 times. Now here's the problem with 4 Crimson Witch of Flames set for Hu Tao. Hu Tao's E has a 16-second cooldown, so you're only going to get a maximum of 1 stack from this. So with this combined with the 2-piece set, you're getting 22.5% pyro damage bonus. And now increases vaporize and melt damage by 15%. Now let's be real here. Vaporize and melt are not going to affect every hit. They'll affect like half your hits at best, because sometimes it's either just too slow, especially since Hu Tao's gonna be a normal charge attack dealer, or vaporize and melt. Like for example, you're using Xingqiu, you might vaporize Xingqiu's swords instead. So let's give it a generous estimate where it triggers half the time properly, so 7.5%. And then in total that will do 30% damage, extra damage. That is lower than Lavawalker's 35% and lower than Bolide's 40%. Which, I mean, if you can get it, I mean, I'm honestly not very sure of this one. I could be completely wrong, but like thinking about it, it doesn't seem like this set is very practical compared to 4 set Lavawalker or Retracting Bolide. I think it's slightly worse, but it seems like it's very close. So if you already have a Witch of Flames and you don't have a Lavawalker or Retracting Bolide set, then just use your Witch of Flames. Now, another thing that I've also seen people think about is 2 set Crimson Witch of Flames and 2 set Noblesse Oblige. Now, 2 set Crimson Witch and 2 set Noblesse Oblige could work if you're doing an alt build, which is definitely viable. You can do an alt build for sure. And if you want to do an alt build, then Crimson Witch of Flames and Noblesse Oblige could be the way to go. Honestly, because if you're doing the ult, it's very easy to like set up a melt and vaporize for it. So yeah, if you're running an ult build, then the Crimson Witch of Flames and Noblesse Oblige 2 set will probably be the best set. However, I think the maximum damage from her is going to come from her normal and charge attack rather than her ult. Which is why I want to test that theory out by playing Bolide. And also the additional bonus of playing Bolide is that I get to utilize Archaic Petra's 4 set as well. So I have 40% and then I have an extra 35%. However, to play both Bolide and Archaic Petra, unless you have a Zhongli, Noelle, or Diona, it's not really that worth. Now another set that I've also seen people talk about is 2 set Crimson Witch of Flames and 2 set Gladiator's Finale, which I think is just terrible. Why? Because 2 set Gladiator gives attack plus 18%. Keep in mind, that's only on the base. And look at Hu Tao's base attack. At level 90, her base attack is 106. That, I just don't see how 2 set Gladiator could even work on her. And if you're gonna run, let's say Gladiator 4-piece set, where it increases normal attack damage by 35%, first off, this doesn't even increase charge attack damage, which is also a pretty big part of her kit. And Lavawalker is just a better version, honestly. And the 2-set of the Gladiator is basically useless. So yeah, I've that's what I think on the current artifact sets for Hu Tao. So to sum it up, my personal build that I'm going to run on my Hu Tao is Retracting Bolide with a Zhongli Archaic Petra to support. And then but let's say you don't have a Zhongli or an OL shield, then you'd probably be best off with a Lavawalker build and then an Anemo with Viridescent Venerer. Or you could do 4-set Crimson Witch of Flames, or if you want to do a alt build, you do 2-set Crimson Witch of Flames and 2-set Noblesse. I think that's the way to go for Hu Tao, and I hope you guys found this helpful. Please leave a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time.